Alrighty, guys, I once again went 5-1 in my 6 personal sports bets on my website yesterday. And the only way you could access each and every one of those winners is to join my full access, all-inclusive board member package on that site. It's also going to improve my record to 21-3 in my last 24 board member tier package bets themselves. And before we go ahead and move on, just want to take a quick timeout and welcome you to my NBA free pick video here today for Wednesday, March 22nd, 2023. It's actually our part 2 video. Part 1 is on my channel if you haven't checked it out yet. Of course, my name is Brock Page. I've been giving away free sports picks right here on YouTube since 2016. I also sell my personal sports bets on patreon.com/BrockPage. And once again, guys, we're coming off another winning 5-1 day in all of my personal selections yesterday. That's also going to improve our record to 21-3 in our last 24 board member tier package bets on that site. And if you want to see a full video breakdown of every single one of my personal bets here today, games that I personally have my own action on, there's only one way to do that, and that's to join my full access, all-inclusive board member package on patreon.com/BrockPage. Not only do board members get access to my board member podcast every single day, you also get access to every single personal play of mine, every single package, every single day until April 1st. I currently have over 560 members who are signed up and active on my website right now. Now, you may be wondering what the difference is between what we do here on YouTube and what I do on my website. Well, what I do here on YouTube is I'll handicap the entire slate of games in any given sport, side and total. What I do on my website is I actually share with you which one of these free plays on these videos that I'm actually betting on personally. And with that, guys, let's go ahead and dive into our part 2 video. We're going to start off with the Spurs at the Bucks, 8 o'clock East. Milwaukee's minus 17.5, totals 237 and a hook. Now, it's insanely difficult to cover a 17.5 point spread, but there is no reasonable way I can back San Antonio here. They're 6-28 in their travels, and they allowed 124 points a game in those contests. And when it comes to defensive woes, the Spurs are letting their opponents make 51% of their field goals against them when they travel. They're facing a Milwaukee team who got the W in 7 out of their last 10. The Bucks have also been very tough to beat in the Fiserv Forum. They're 29-7 in their own arena, and they grab more offensive boards at home than any other team in the NBA. Giannis Antetokounmpo, he's grabbing just about a dozen rebounds per contest. He's third in the league in that category. Now, Giannis also leads the Bucks with 31 points a game. Jrue Holiday also scores just about 20 points per contest himself. He shoots it quite well from three-land. When it comes to defensive play, the Bucks have a lower defensive field goal percentage than any other team in the NBA except for one. Now, injury-wise, Dragic, Crowder, and Leonard, they are out for the Bucks. Meanwhile, for the Spurs, Johnson and Sochan are questionable. Birch is out for them. When it comes to the total, the Spurs went 60% to the over in their last 10 outings. Meanwhile, the Bucks saw 6 out of their last 10 get over the total themselves. Give me the Bucks minus 17.5 over 237 and a hook. Next game, it is going to be Rockets at the Grizzlies, 8 o'clock Eastern start time. Memphis is minus 13, totals 231. And even though this is a big number, the Grizzlies have been tough to beat in Memphis. They're 30-5 in the FedEx Forum. They're arguably the toughest team to shoot against in the NBA. Memphis is holding their competition to a league-low 43% shooting from the field. Desmond Bane, he has a bunch of steals on the season and also averages nearly 5 defensive boards per contest. Now, Bane's also the active roster's leading scorer. He drills 40% of his three-pointers. Meanwhile, Jaren Jackson, he scores over 17.5 points a game himself. He's averaging nearly 7 boards. Now, they're facing a Houston club who has the worst record in the West. When it comes to defensive play, these guys give up 122 points a game in their travels. Now, injury-wise, Tate is out. Sengun is questionable. Meanwhile, for Memphis on the other side, Brooks and Williams are out for them. When it comes to the total, 3 out of Memphis' last 4 did get over the number. Overs against the likes of Golden State, San Antonio, and Miami. They're also averaging 119 points a game in their last 10 meetings with Houston. So if you're into historical trends, certainly want to think about that one there. Now, the Rockets saw overs recently against the likes of Chicago, Indiana, and San Antonio. Give me Memphis minus 13, over 231. Next game, Sixers, Bulls, 8 o'clock Eastern tip-off. Philadelphia's minus 3, totals 221.5. The Sixers are currently the best three-point shooting team in the NBA. They're making nearly 40% of their three-pointers as a team. And they're shooting a league-best 83% from the stripe. When it comes to defensive play, the Sixers lead the entire NBA right now in defensive boards on the road. Joel Embiid averages double-digit rebounds a game, and he currently leads the NBA in points. Meanwhile, Tyrese Maxey's drilling nearly 42% of his three-pointers. And in their last 10 meetings with Chicago, the Sixers got the W 8 times. Now they're facing a Bulls team who's had some difficulties on the offensive end of the court. They're scoring fewer second-quarter points a game than most clubs in the East. They're also in the bottom 10 in third-quarter scoring at home. And in their last 10 meetings with Philadelphia, the Bulls averaged just 106 points a game. Now, injury-wise, Caruso and Green are questionable. Justin Lewis is out. Meanwhile, for Philly, Tucker and Harden are banged up. Keep an eye on them. Now, when it comes to the number, Philly saw unders against the likes of the Hornets, Wizards, and this very Bulls team. Meanwhile, Chicago's 61% to the under in the United Center. Give me the Sixers minus 3, under 221.5. Next matchup, it is going to be Hawks at the Timberwolves, 8 o'clock Eastern start time. Minnesota's the 5-point favorite, totals 241. Now, the T-Wolves lost 5 out of their last 7. They do have a losing record against the point spread at home. And in their last 10 head-to-head meetings with Atlanta, the T-Wolves took the loss 7 times. Now, rebounding-wise, there's not many teams in the West who are worse than Minnesota. These guys are in the bottom 5 in the entire NBA in defensive boards at home. They're also grabbing fewer offensive rebounds a game than most clubs in the West. They're taking on an Atlanta team who has little problems getting on the scoreboard. As a matter of fact, these guys average more points a game on the road than any other team in the NBA except for one. Trae Young scores a team-high 26 points a game along with double-digit assists. Meanwhile, Bogey's drilling nearly 41% of his shots from beyond the arc. When it comes to the total, the T-Wolves saw their last 3 straight get over the number. 6-2 to the over in their last 8. And in their last 10 meetings with Atlanta, the T-Wolves allowed over 120 points a game. Now, no real surprise here. 8 out of those 10 meetings did get over the total. Meanwhile, Atlanta went 22-15 to the over in their road trips. Now, injury-wise, DeJounte Murray's questionable. Jalen Johnson is out. Meanwhile, for the T-Wolves, Karl Anthony Towns, Jalen Noel, and Anthony Edwards, they're all day-to-day. Give me the Hawks plus 5, over 241. Next matchup, Blazers, Jazz, 9 o'clock East. Utah's minus 4.5, totals 234 and a hook. Now, the Jazz did cover in their last 6 straight. They're 22-13 straight up at home. They're also scoring 119 points a game in Salt Lake City. They're currently in the top 5 in home offensive boards. Walker Kessler grabs nearly 9 rebounds a game. He makes 72% of his attempts from the field. Meanwhile, Kelly Olynyk averages double-digit points a game himself. He also knocks down just about 40% of his three-pointers. Now they are facing a defeated Portland organization who lost their last 6 straight. Looks like these guys are pretty much quitting. And in their last 10 meetings with Utah, the Blazers have been held to just 104 points a game. And, of course, the reason why I say they're quitting is Dame Lillard made some comments the other day kind of insinuating like, hey, I think it's the point in the season we need to just give up. I mean, pretty much that's what he meant. But anyway, as far as this season's concerned, the Blazers are in the bottom 5 in road scoring. When it comes to the injury report, Grant, Simons, Winslow, and Baji are out. Nasir Little's questionable. Meanwhile, for the Jazz on the other side, Clarkson and Sexton are still inactive. Markkanen's banged up as well. Keep an eye on him. When it comes to the total, 8 out of Utah's last 10 did get over. They're also averaging 118 points a game in their last 10 meetings with Portland. Now, the Blazers on the other side saw 4 out of their last 5 themselves get over the total. Give me Utah minus 4.5 over 234 and a hook. And with that, guys, we're going to jump into our next and final matchup for the video. It is going to be the Suns at the Lakers, 10 o'clock Eastern tip-off. The LA Lakers are -1, totals 229. And even though the Lakers are the slight favorite in this one, it's been Phoenix who's dominated in recent meetings. The Suns are 9-1 in their last 10 gatherings against the Lakers. They also held LA to just 101 points a game in those contests. Devin Booker has a handful of steals this year and grabs 4.5 rebounds per contest. Now, Book's also the team's leading scorer with 28 points a game. Meanwhile, Chris Paul is scoring 13.5 points a game himself, along with 9 assists. They're facing a Laker team who struggled on the defensive end of the court. These guys allow 117 points a game. They're also grabbing fewer defensive boards at home than any other team in the league except for one. When it comes to the injury report, LeBron and Mo Bamba are both still out. Anthony Davis is questionable. Meanwhile, for Phoenix on the other side, DeAndre Ayton scratched for them. When it comes to the scoring, the Suns did see 7 out of their last 8 get over the total. Meanwhile, LA saw overs against the likes of the Pelicans, Raptors, and Thunder. Give me Phoenix +1 over 229. And with that, guys, now it's time for our quick pick recap. Give me the Bucks -17.5 over 237 and a hook. Give me Memphis -13 over 231. Sixers -3 under 221.5. Atlanta Hawks +5 over 241. Utah Jazz -4.5 over 234 and a hook. With my next and final free pick for part 2, give me the Suns +1 over 229.